good?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right, all right. So, do you have nick? Before we start, do you have a nickname you wanna use? I do a little
Uh,
nickname thing.
Trey's fine.
Trey. All right. Here we go. All right. And welcome everyone to Geeks Reborn Podcast. I'm your host, King of Deers, aka Ray. I mean, technically Ray, then King of Deers. Today I'm joined by a good buddy of mine, Trey. Welcome, Trey, to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I we couldn't do it last week, but we managed to do it tonight. Squeeze it in today. But
Yeah, yeah, it was just a crazy day getting stuff done, but
mhm. I know. I know.
try to get it done.
I know. There's a Astros World Series game at the moment. Even though we got this, but
Oh yeah, I mean we're losing now, but
I mean it's the first game.
it'll be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just the first.
it's the first game. So I'm gonna try to keep it short so we can both enjoy the rest of the game before it finish. What inning is it on?
Both.
Okay. All right. So maybe we can definitely keep it short and get it all sorted out.
Hmm.
Anyway, this weekend is Halloween. Did you get the chance to watch the new Halloween movie?
I did. I did.
What did you
Um,
what did you think?
honestly, I was a little disappointed about it. I feel like the movie itself, it took a lot. It was really slow to get to the point.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it was cool that they brought back all these characters. They brought back Tommy Doyle. They brought back the um the other girl that they was babysitting in the first Halloween. It's cool they brought them all back, but most of them only got like maybe 5-10 minutes of fame.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I feel like since you're bringing these characters back, and it was such a statement in most of your previews, I thought that would have been. I thought that would have played a bigger role than what they did.
Okay.
But as far as the movie itself, like I said, it took way too long to get to the point. It was basically just Michael Myers killing on a killing spree or
Yeah,
whatever,
that's true.
and it was more killing and less of the storytelling,
Yeah.
and that's what I was looking forward to, and I was a little bit disappointed at.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like a filler, like happening like right after the first movie, and by first movie I mean Halloween 2018
Right.
reboot. You know, it did feel like they just want to feature uh, Michael killing everyone. Like the whole
Right.
firefighter scene. That was cool.
Right.
That was a lot.
It was ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
honestly.
And
Now,
what do you think about them using the mystical power that the mask gives Michael thing, like the little
I
spiel.
feel like that takes a little bit away from the character itself because think you got to think Michael Myers is not Jason,
Mhm.
and so I felt like they were trying to fuse the two characters in this Halloween movie. Like, just think about it. This dude is, at the end of the day, this dude is just a crazed psychopath.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the movie, like he disappears and he reappears like out of nowhere. Like that to me didn't make sense.
Okay.
Um, I felt like they just OP'd him during this movie,
Especially
and
that
like I
last.
said, it takes away the story.
Yeah.
I was completely disappointed because that all is built up,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you give us this. I'm just like,
Just
why,
Michael Myers
why?
killing everyone at the in town, pretty much.
Essentially, but one of my predictions was true about it. I knew that one of the main three was going to die. It was either going to be Jamie Lee or her daughter,
Oh,
or it's
okay.
going to be the granddaughter. I
Yeah.
knew one of them was going to die. I just didn't know which.
I was
But
yeah I was about to say I was actually surprised they did that. I mean have you seen any other Halloween movies? Because I stopped at one, and
okay,
I'm gonna talk about that later. Because anyway, I was surprised because I didn't really think she would go first. But then again, out of the three, I would say Jamie Lee would probably be the last man standing. Maybe Allison, if if if
I kind of thought that I thought that maybe Jamie Lee was gonna go in this movie, and that sets it
oh
up for the
yeah,
daughter
that's
and the
right.
granddaughter as this big comeback or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's fine.
She was stuck in the
Like I
hospital.
said, I knew one of them was gonna go, but to take so long to get to the point of the mob scene, and
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, like he sneaks in, it feels like they took too long, and then they were out of the budget, and so they just want to put that scene in real quick to continue on to the next movie.
Yeah. Did you hear that the finale, or I guess the final movie, is gonna take place 4 years after after Halloween Kills?
I read that. I read that.
What you think
And
about that?
so I feel um well, now that Michael went on this doggone killing spree,
Hmm.
I feel like as the town, I think it's good for the story that they portrayed because, like I said, Michael went through this killing spree. He killed I don't know how many men and women and Halloween Kills. And I feel like to give it a break, it gives the town a time to like mourn
Yeah,
or
that's true.
whatnot. But also, it sets um the mother and the daughter up to gain that bond that was so lost because
Oh yeah, that's true.
in the first Halloween it's like the daughter no I'm sorry the granddaughter and the daughter of Jamie Lee, there was this disconnect or
Yeah,
whatever because the granddaughter wants to have this big happy family, the um daughter
wants to get
did
away.
not. She wants this like this big utopian like picture for this family, and that's just not what it is.
Yeah.
Not in Hammondville, Illinois.
That's true.
There's always going to be that. You know, it's going to be the boogeyman, and it's always going to affect that town in some way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
it's now cemented. Like what happened 40 years ago is is part of history of that town. Yeah.
Right. It'll forever be a part. It's almost like. It's almost like growing up around the area where 9/11 happened and
Yeah.
you're trying to act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like you can't not let it happen, but you can't let it affect you to the point to where you're scared to even go out your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Like to Jamie Lee Curtis, unfortunately. Anyway,
Exactly.
so going back to my what I said earlier about Halloween, the first Halloween.
Hmm.
I remember I think it was 2 years ago when I decided to watch all of most like just to feel around the what you call it, the slasher films, because I've never really
Okay.
seen any slasher films. I started with uh I think I started with Halloween.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the first Halloween. Oh no, that's a lie. I started with Jason. Jason, not
Okay.
Jason. The first Friday the 13th. I didn't like it because it just felt
No
cheesy.
one ever likes the first one. No one ever likes it.
Okay, so you would you suggest, would you recommend for me to continue on to the next one just to get a proper feel of the
Well,
franchise?
yeah, because the
Yeah,
first Friday the
it's the
13th
mom.
doesn't even introduce Jason.
That's true. That's true.
Um, But yeah, I would say continue it.
Okay.
It gets you involved into the storyline,
Okay.
and also if you have time, I don't know if the game is still out. Play the video game as well. Even though the
Oh, the
video game
Friday the
had a lot of
13th.
backlash, even though the video game had a lot of backlash because apparently the producers of the video game thought it was a good idea to make the game without the consent of the actual movie
Oh
for
yeah,
some odd
that's
reason, and
right.
so that's why they stopped producing more maps and more,
Okay, that's right. That's right.
more skins of Jason.
Hmm.
But the game itself, um, it takes place in the actual Jason series. So what I
Mm.
mean by that is like each map is a scene to where it's a scene in one of the Friday the 13th movies.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I saw
Hmm
some of the what you call it. I saw some of the clips of it, and yeah, it was really fun. It looks really cool. They have mostly every skin for Jason, every version of Jason, all the way to Jason X. I thought that was
No,
pretty
no,
cool.
they stopped at part eight.
Oh, really? Because I thought
Yeah, they stopped at part eight. Either part eight or part nine, one or the other, but they didn't get to Jason X.
I guess it was rumored before they stopped producing stuff or something. I guess
Right,
because
right.
I
That
remember
game
seeing a
had
picture.
great potential because it had a bunch of I think it was I could be wrong, but I think it was one of the um producers for that game was Unreal Technology, and Unreal did
Yeah.
Gears of War
hmm
and all that on all those guys. So it had great promise, but
Yeah.
that's
And you can collect like lore, like little stories, little tidbits that like you might find a newspaper regarding to the
oh
original
yeah, you can find
franchise.
recordings as
Yeah,
well.
that was pretty cool.
Hmm
I like that one. I like the gameplay as well. Uh, I like I remember one of the ways to defeat Jason or to stun Jason is to use his mother's sweater. So
Oh yeah,
I was
so
like,
there's
that's
a way
pretty
you
cool.
have to kill him, but it's a whole process to kill him. You have to get a female character involved,
Yeah.
and you have to be on the same wavelength, and someone has to die, and then Tommy has to come back, and Tommy has to be the only one that can kill him, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. It's a whole process,
Yeah.
but it's cool, because you're talking about Jason. Jason is the actual unstoppable force of the horror slasher films, if so to speak.
Okay. All right. So moving on from the Friday the 13th franchise. Hello.
Right.
So pretty much you're saying to give it another go. Uh,
I would continue it. I think it's good.
which one would you say
Now
is the
as
best
far
one?
which one?
Which one would you say is the best one? Yeah.
I would say, hmm, I would definitely say when I forget what part it was, but Friday the 13th when he goes to Brooklyn. I think that
Oh,
one was really good.
Jason Takes Manhattan, or whatever.
Yeah, or yeah. Jason
I
takes
heard it
Manhattan.
about it. I've heard about that
Yeah,
one.
whenever you get to that one's really good. I like
Okay,
that one.
okay. So moving on, I think I followed it up with. I don't remember if I watched any other Friday the 13th, but I went to Halloween, the 1978. Um, I guess if you're a fan of like classic uh, horror, like just like the creepy atmosphere, you'll like Halloween because I didn't quite enjoy the original Halloween. I enjoyed the 2018 Halloween more. But I guess it's because in the remake or the most recent one, they showed how Michael moves around. Whereas in the original, he's in one side of the house, next scene he's on the other side, which I kind like. I just didn't like, I guess, or
Oh,
something.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's definitely a style from back then too.
Mhm.
Like you said,
Yeah.
it's like back then technology wasn't as popular. I
That's
mean,
true.
not popular. It wasn't as advanced as it
That's
was
true.
now,
Yeah.
and so they had to play out certain things. Like for example, if you watch the first one, the scene where Michael gets into the car and steals the car from the nurse,
Mhm.
there's a scene where his hand hits the windshield. I mean, not the windshield, the window, the side window,
Okay.
right? If you look closely, and you can pause it. I mean, I just seen it pointed out to my girlfriend. There is a wrench there for him to break the glass.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like back then they rely a lot more, I guess.
On the practicality of it, rather
Yeah,
than hiding
yeah,
behind
yeah.
the CGI and such. Okay.
Right, right. They didn't have much CGI. In fact, John Carpenter, I think that movie had a budget of maybe 300,000, something like that.
Okay.
And
It did
so,
look like a quite of a low quality movie compared to like
It was a low quality movie, but
low budget.
whenever
I
it
mean,
came out during the time, it almost fit. It fit right there. It was
yeah,
perfect. It
yeah.
was perfect for the 1970s, early 1980s.
Have you ever seen any of the? I'm sure you've seen. Seeing as you have like a lot of like horror related, like slasher related things on your car, um, I'm sure. Which one out of the old Halloween uh, franchise? I don't know what to call it, how to differentiate it. Which one out of the classic ones would you say is the best one, other than the first one, or maybe the first two one?
Classic slashers or classic
No,
movies?
just in the Halloween franchise. Which one would you say before the 2018 remake? Anyway.
Oh, I see. I see. You know what? I honestly can't choose because it's almost like it's a continuation of one story.
Okay.
So I really couldn't say. I was, except for the third one. Don't watch the third one. The third one has nothing to do with the actual story
Oh yeah,
itself. It was kind of
the
confusing to
witches.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the witch hunt. But I like the aspect that they introduced as far as Halloween 4, 5, and 6. They introduced like whole Jamie had this daughter that she was in a car crash. Blah blah blah. I enjoyed it. It for that. Whenever I saw it during the time, it made sense, and so I just don't understand them. Well, I guess they had to go back in time to rewrite the wrong, but I
Mhm.
just don't understand. And like, we have all these movies, but yet you're gonna go back to the original one. It's almost like we're going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would, I think a thing that would have been a great idea is like, okay, him now instead of um like him now after all those movies. How does he look, or what's the story like with that then, instead of like going back to the first one and introducing back Jamie Lee and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, I get it, but at the same time, it would have been nice if they would have went that direction as well.
Yeah. It
It would have been
removes.
really interesting.
Yeah, I feel like the remake remove all the classic '90s cheesy, horror or slasher movies tropes, and just made like straight up gore fest of a slasher movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Like, as apart from the 2018 Halloween, which was they did a beautiful job setting it up for the sequels, but um
Do you think it lost its magic after they did all that?
I would say for me it did. It would have to take one hell of a story to like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That, you know what? I understood what they did in Halloween Kills whenever I watch Halloween Ends
Okay,
next year, whenever that comes.
that makes sense.
Um, right.
So after Halloween, I went to Friday the 13th. Oh, not Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
I think that's the last slasher movie I've watched, unless which I'm gonna ask later on. So I like Freddy. I like the first one. It was pretty creepy.
You know what? Um, Freddy was awesome. Because you got to think during the time that the Freddy Krueger movie was coming out, Jason was coming out as well.
Yeah,
So I think that it was great because it gave us that comedic relief and also killing these
yeah,
guys or
giving
whatever.
that
I think
creepy.
out of all the classic slasher films that came out during the 1980s, the the Freddy Krueger series made the most sense as far as timeline is concerned, and it makes sense as far as practicality is concerned.
Hmm.
Like, okay, obviously you can't kill someone; he's in your dreams. Like the
Yeah, that's
dude's
true.
invincible. I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
Um, that one made the most sense, um, but yeah,
Okay. Unfortunately, I decided like watching, when I decided to watch the slashers, I decided to like just watch the first one, and then watch whatever other people say is the better one out of the
okay,
franchise. So I went from the first one all the way to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now that
Okay.
one was really good. I thought that
Yeah,
delivered
that one
really
was
good.
good. That one was good.
I like the new design for Freddy, giving that more demonic look. I thought the mix of CGI and and just like makeup did an amazing job. Make
Right.
giving
They
giving Freddy
the
the
whenever they
creepy.
revamped them, that was great. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
he came out the bedroom with the one claw going down like that,
Mm-hmm.
great, awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that one was such a like delivered to the legacy of what Wes Craven had in mind for uh, for the franchise. It worked. It felt real, while at the same time keeping the original idea of Freddy in a more serious way. He's still
Right.
living in your dreams, but the world he's not as that. He doesn't joke around. He if he wants to kill you, he will toy with you. Then he will kill you. I think that
Right.
yeah, out of all of the revamps, I would say Wes Craven's New Nightmare is my favorite.
Right. The new Nightmare, not the other remake way down the line. I
No,
don't know what
no,
the hell they were doing with
the
that one.
the the what was it? 2009 when they decided to reboot
Yeah,
Freddy
yeah.
and
I don't know
Jason.
what the hell they were doing with that one. It was a nice try, I guess, but
Yeah,
the
I
only
never
thing
seen
that
it.
I liked about it is that they gave the audience a little bit of a backstory, just a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
that's true. That's true.
That's the
More
only
of a
thing I could take
pedophile.
from it. Other than
Yeah.
that,
So, yeah. So, those are the only ones I've seen so far. So I've only seen, I guess, Freddy's mom, uh, Michael, and Freddy. I guess I'll check out Friday the 13th Part Two to get a better feel of
yeah, I would
Jason.
say it's definitely worth continuing the franchise just to kind of go along in the story. And hell, the reboot of Friday the 13th was good too.
Oh,
I think
really?
they did it in 2013 or somewhere around
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I think they have the guy from Supernatural was in there. He
Okay.
stars as one of the leading roles or whatever.
Okay.
They did a really good job. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Well, I'm sure you've heard about what's going on with the franchise. They finally settled out in court. So hopefully in the future we might get more Friday the 13th and more
See,
accurate and such.
we'll see. I'll be interested to see what direction they go with that one
Hmm.
because it's kind of like they kind of played out all the avenues for Jason. You
Yeah.
know, they put him in space. He survived. They did everything they could do to this dude, and he survives. I'll be very interested to see what they do. I just hope that if they whatever avenue they take, the story makes somewhat sense. I know you can't. Jason is really the only one that's like slash and dash, and he's gonna put up the bodies.
Yeah.
I get that, but I just hope that the story makes somewhat sense, somewhat.
Okay. Okay. So out of I guess would you say those are the? I know I didn't mention Leatherface because he's in the 50s, I believe. His first movie was in the 50s. I don't remember.
Hmm.
Maybe in the 70s, but I haven't really seen anything about Leatherface. But out of those three, which one would you say is gonna be your favorite in terms of franchise and as a character?
Well, that's a tough one. No, I would have to say Michael as far as the character is
Yeah.
concerned. I just like the lore around him. Um, I mean, for whenever I was little, he scared the shit out of me, but it's like what's so crazy about that is how I used to get over that was whenever my family moved into a new household, um her boyfriend during the time he had all these VHS tapes, and I was like, okay, cool. And so he actually had a collection of Halloween tapes. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get over this fear because I was so scared when I was so scary when I was little. And so I literally watched the whole franchise. I want legit a million
Oh
times.
wow.
So it get me to get over that fear. So
Okay.
I guess it's like I'm always gonna refer back to that because it's kind of like home in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, you're familiar with
Um,
it. You're
right, right, right. So it's
okay.
always gonna be my go-to. But I love some Freddy. Like I said, I like what he did. I like what he does. Um, and you know, if I feel like just watching just someone just wreak havoc, kick ass and take names, you know, obviously there's gonna be Jason
Yeah, that's true.
in the background as
That's
well.
true. Okay. All right. So here's my upcoming question. Uh, there, I, I read a thread on Reddit like a year ago or so, but do you think Terminator would be considered as a horror slasher or a sci-fi movie?
No, I would absolutely
At least
right.
the
I
first
would
one.
consider Terminator as more of a sci-fi movie, just like with Predator, just like with Alien, just like with Species. I always consider all those kind of sci-fi, but it gives a is I'll take that back. It's a sci-fi thriller. You know what I mean? It's like, of course, there's some aspects of horror because, of course, there's going to be blood, there's going to be
Yeah.
guts everywhere.
Yeah.
But as far as actual, I think horror movies itself, it has kind of like a human aspect of it, somewhat, and those guys are just not doesn't cut it for me. I
Okay.
think that's more of a sci-fi thriller for me,
Okay. Okay.
and so I wouldn't include those in a horror genre.
Okay. That's a pretty good insight for me because ever since I like on that thread, some say it could be considered slasher. Some say it's not really a slasher sci-fi. It's more leaning towards sci-fi. But someone brought up that in Terminator, uh, Arnie moved like an unstoppable force, which is a usual trope for slasher movies. You know, Jason walks around, not getting killed. Michael is getting stabbed left and right, shot left and right, still walking. Freddy is just in your dream, so you can't really do anything.
Right. Like I said, I think it's the human aspect for it. Because the Terminator, we're talking about a damn robot, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Um, at least with Freddy, you know, is some type of ghoulish being. So I guess that makes it a
Open-ended.
horror movie. Then, uh, I think that's the difference from horror and sci-fi to me.
Okay.
Same as Predator. Now, the Predator out of those three would be the closest to a horror movie because it keeps you off the edge of your seat. It kind of like, oh shit, like you know what I mean, like,
Mhm.
um, and they do hunt humans down in a sense, but I still consider that sci-fi as well because you're talking about aliens killing humans
Yeah,
at the
that's
end of the
true.
day.
Okay. Would you say the same thing with the xenomorphs from the Alien franchise?
Oh, absolutely, that's sci-fi all the way.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what I would consider horror would be um The Purge. That's horror. I would consider Strangers horror all the way. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. How
things
about?
like that. Scream too.
Oh yeah, that's another one I watched. Scream. That one actually I
Mm-hmm.
went to the second movie. I was like, as soon as I finished the first movie, I went straight to the second movie because
That one you gotta watch all four of them, and then also they're coming out with the fifth one
oh yeah, I heard
next
about
year.
that. Yeah,
Hmm
that one I actually enjoyed like all the way through. Like
That
I
one you
did
need to
not
watch
laugh.
because I believe that one is not it's not going back to the beginning or it's not going
Yeah, it's a
back to a certain movie.
continuation.
I think that was just continuing on. So that
That's true.
one I would urge you to watch all of the movies until
Okay.
you get to the movie that comes out.
Yeah, I remember I watched it. I was like, you know what? I like it. I think I was talking to someone about this. I like it because, like I said, with my problem with the Halloween or and
Hmm
versus the new one, with Scream, you see what's going on. You see the mistakes that the Ghostface people usually do, and
hmm
you see how they move around. They explain how go the killers are two different places at the same time. You know,
Because there are two killers.
exactly. It's usually two killers. I like that. Plus, and they hit it kind of well until like usually at the end of the movie so there's a twist and then
I
that's
would
when
say they do keep you on the edge of your seat. Like, who is it? Is it him? Is it him? Is it her? Is it him?
exactly
I would
yeah
say
that's the point
they
Sam.
do a really good job because I would say like even I'm good at like okay that one might be it.
That
The
was me
Scream
the first
series
one.
kept me on the edge of my seat. I'm just like oh.
And plus, it's
Oh,
just
really?
it's out of, in my opinion, it feels like the most plausible way to happen, rather than next up to Michael anyway. Michael is just
Right,
like a
right.
mentally handicapped person who just loves killing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Scream, it's a bunch of teenagers usually uh, committing a series of pranks against one another that just went too far, or they have like this revenge plan to kill like these people who
Just
hurt them.
crazy ass
Yeah,
teens.
or yeah, like the first movie where they just had crazy ass teens out to see if they can get away with it, I believe. And then the
Mm-hmm.
second one was the
Exactly.
revenge one. Yeah, I like Scream. Yeah, I'll definitely look into watching 3, 4, 5. Isn't And you said all of them are pretty much a continuation from one another.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would say go in order with that one for sure.
Wasn't there a TV series?
There was a TV series, and actually, the TV series was really good. I hate that they discontinued it,
Yeah, I was
but
about to
yeah,
say it. I forgot about that.
yeah, the TV series was good. But this TV series has nothing to do with the movie
Okay.
series.
Okay, I was about to
All right, so you can watch that separately or whatever. But that one was really good.
ask if they like somewhat connect to one another or refer.
I don't think so. Albeit it's been a while since I've seen the series. I don't think they're connected. And also a good one that's on. Speaking of Netflix, Slasher. It's what you call it, entropy. Anyways, like each season of Slasher is completely different from the next.
Okay.
So like that one is good, and it takes place from all kinds of different dates.
Okay, that's cool.
I think one is current, one is I think back in the 80s, another one is in the 90s or something like that.
Okay. Here's one I forgot to mention. Chucky,
Hmm. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Child's
yeah.
Play.
Hmm.
Everyone's second favorite doll after Annabelle now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But here's my thing that really frustrates me with Child's Play. At the end of the day, you're talking about a serial killer that was trapped inside of a doll.
That's true.
Like, albeit when I was little, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, no lie. But looking
especially
at
when
the
you played toys
like
with
looking
it.
at it, right. But now thinking back on it, you're talking about a doll that had no superpower, nothing like that. So it's nothing supernatural. It's just a deranged killer stuck inside of a doll.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like the series because like whenever I started really getting into movies, getting into horror movies, I was like, well, let me rewatch the Chucky series again. I couldn't get into it because it frustrated me. Like he killed I don't know how many adults. You could have just kicked that some bitch across the lawn and be done with it. Like I didn't understand. Like I didn't. And then let this little bitty doll whoop their ass for I don't know how many movies. I just didn't understand it. I didn't get it. So
The one that I remember, I think the very first time. Oh, no, no, no. I think the second time I've heard about Chucky was the what was it? The Child of Chucky, or
Child of Chucky, yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
about
That one
some.
came out a few years
And then
back.
the Bride of Chucky. Then I was like, wait, what? It's a doll. Then I mean,
Yeah, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I didn't understand it, man. I'm just.
and the
Uh.
fact that it has a actually, it had a movie a few years ago with Mark Hamill voicing Chucky, and then now they have a
Yes.
TV series that is, I want to say,
Oh
it's
yeah,
more
I
in
heard
line.
about that TV series.
Yeah, I
I
saw some
haven't
scenes.
looked into it just yet, but I did hear that it did have a TV series
Yeah,
going on.
I think it just started actually, and
Oh, okay.
and
I have
uh
to check that out.
and when they were doing like the teasers, the TV spots, um, I want to. They showed like how they how they did the facial structure for Chucky, because you can actually see his face moving, making all sorts of emotions and such. It looked real, but of course there will be some CGI on it. It just
Of
looks
course.
authentic, you know. It looks like it's a mechanized doll, you know,
Yeah, I'm
with
just
a fake
like
smile.
you can't. I can't see him being scary. He looks like even whenever he had the scars all over himself, I'm like, okay, he's just a fucked up doll. Or he comes to life. Oh, let me just drown him or take that doggone head off and be done with it. Like
Yeah.
it's just that series was, to me, in my humble opinion, that series was prolonged for no doggone reason. I didn't understand it at all.
So you would say just like if anything, just give one movie a shot and just be done with it. Would you say it like that, or
Yeah,
just like
I say out of that series, I think 1 through 3 was really good.
okay?
Or if I just had to put my feet against the fire, I
Yeah,
would check those out
yeah.
if you
Okay,
wanted to. But other than that, that's all I'll get from it. It's just the same thing over and over again.
okay. So moving away from the topic of slashers, I want to talk about how you really got into horror movies. For me, it's more recent that I've like a like a lot of kids back in their uh, golden times. I was a little bitch when it comes to to horror movies. They scared the shit
Uh,
out of me. All the
yeah, it
way to
happens.
like even
Happens
in
to the
college,
best
I
of
was like,
us.
don't want to touch that. But now it's like, you know what? You know, especially the paranormal one. Since I grew up in a very superstitious community with Filipinos being like having all these stories, urban legends, also growing up Catholic, so
Okay.
more things to look forward to in the dark side. So for me, like horror movies was like top notch, especially the supernatural ones. Maybe that's also another reason why I never really got into slashers. I found them cheesy until I watched them. Some of them are good.
Yeah.
Some of them
Some
are
of
good.
them can be a little bit like, really?
Yeah,
What are you
like I
doing?
said, the first Friday the 13th was like that.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, how did you get into horror movies?
Well, I was about as deep as you can get. Whenever I first got started, like you, I was scared of my own shadow. During daycare, whenever I was little, like 4 or 5, Lost Boys came out.
Oh, okay.
That petrified me to the point where I stood up day and night for 2 days straight.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Yeah, like I couldn't sleep. We had me and my brother had bunk beds during the time. I went to the top bunk and I just stared at the wall until until sun up. It was awful. And so that's kind of my introduction to horror movies. But like I said, whenever I was like 12 or 13, that's when my mom's boyfriend, he had the big box of VHSs,
Oh,
and most of them are
VHSs.
horror movies. And so every time I get home, I'll watch them, or they'll just be on in the background as I'm doing homework. I guess it's like as I kept watching them, it kind of numbed me for being so scary.
Yeah.
And so after that, it just became like an addiction.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I feel
And
that.
so, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Going back on when you said like you have that one movie that introduced you to horror. For me, it was like a Filipino movie, and like you, I
Hmm.
could not. I didn't. It's not that I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares for a whole week, like to a
Understand.
point where I was just like, I woke up, I woke my mom up. I was like, "Yo, this sucks,"
Hmm.
like I've and like I mentioned earlier, it's always um, like the paranormal ones, supernatural ones that always gets me because, in my opinion, that is
Yeah,
more believable than slasher movies. And but now
absolutely.
I love it. I love the entire Conjuring franchise
Yeah, The
to an
Conjuring
extent.
is a very good franchise.
To
Yeah,
an extent,
for sure.
I hated the nun so much, but
Yeah, that nun was out there, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, especially leading up to the movie of the Nun, you're like, oh, what
oh
the fuck is that in the
yeah,
background? Like,
that's true. Starting with the second Conjuring, and then they teased it
right,
with the
right.
Annabelle creation. I like that one. Annabelle creation. That one actually
You
gave
know, the
me.
story of Annabelle, I would say that's a pretty damn good story.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the better paranormal stories they have that's
Mhm.
mainstream right now.
But out of the Conjuring movies, I've only really enjoyed the first one. The first one still like, in my opinion, was like the best one. out of the whole entire Conjuring franchise?
I would say I can't really just say one Conjuring scene because it's a time limit.
Hmm.
It's like all of them I give like all of the Conjuring movies have its purpose.
Yeah.
And so I really couldn't say, oh well this one was really good over that one. It's like, okay, we're in the story. Like the Conjuring timeline itself
It's
is
pretty cool.
awesome.
It's
It's
awesome.
awesome. I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, when a movie comes out, okay, where in the timeline are you?
Hmm.
And then go about it that way.
Yeah, that's true. I think the most recent one, The Devil Made Me Do It. Oh no, no, not that
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but I've seen pretty much all of them, all the way to The Curse of La Llorona. Llorona,
You
yeah.
need to watch that one. You need to watch that one before the. I think there's another one coming out next year sometime.
Okay, alright, that's cool. I think I heard it. I forgot what they're touching it though. Touching on that movie. But yeah, what would you say is your other like your favorite horror movie of all time?
I do like the paranormal myself.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think that going back to your question, going back to your statement of that's what really like scared the shit out of you. What scares the shit out of me is the the found footage or whatever.
Oh.
And the first one that just took me out my seat during this time, no judge. It was Paranormal Activity, and that was before I started getting into those genres of horror movies like the Blair Witch Project
Mhm.
and etc. That was my first time seeing like, oh, this is found footage, blah blah blah. It shook me to the point to where I left the movie and I was searching up these people. It was like, what the fuck did I just see? Like,
I feel
and
that.
so and so I would say that found footage, it just gives that I love it because it gives that extra edge on realism. Hey, they just found this footage. This is what these people went through. This is what was going on during the time. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Had we not found this, these said people, they probably wouldn't even have they wouldn't live they wouldn't tell their story
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, I actually love the paranormal series. I actually seen all the way to the 3D one, Lost Dimension. I kind of don't like the fact that they went cultish. I like the fact that it's more
Yeah,
demonic. It's all about like possessions and such. And then all of a sudden,
yeah, I
witches
would
and
have to agree
covens.
with you. I
Uh,
would say hell for me. It was good. I think I kind of lost interest after the third one. I'm just like, first one was awesome.
oh, the
Second
first one
one,
was great.
awesome. And then it started like, okay, it's getting a little too much
Yeah.
or whatever. And then I'm just like, okay. Well, since I'm already invested into the franchise, I might as well see what the hell they're talking about now. I'm just like, okay.
That's me at the
Well, that
point.
was dumb. That was a waste of 90 minutes of my life. I never do it again.
Then you do it again for the next one because you're interested.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's me with when they teased the new one. I think for Paramount Plus. I think, or I don't remember if they're releasing one soon, but I remember seeing it. I was just like, here we go again, Paranormal
Right. I think they're
Activity.
releasing a. That's the one that's coming out pretty soon, huh? Right.
I believe so. Let me
Yeah, this one here is like I think it's they're still hanging on to that cult
see.
type
Yeah.
deal
Hmm.
to where it's back in the 1600s or whatever. Woo woo woo.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now. Of course I'll see it, but y'all need to do better.
Yeah, I
Like
would. I definitely prefer like if they. Oh, here we go. Next of kin.
next of kin, right?
Yeah, it's okay. It's coming out straight as an exclusive film for Paramount Plus. Okay,
Okay.
it's
That's
coming out
cool.
this Friday. Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was next year.
Yeah, I thought it was next year
I ought to
too.
get a peep, see how that's going.
Hmm.
But there's a movie coming out this week called Antlers. That one looks interesting.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Have you seen the? They had another one a few months ago, I believe. Malignant.
Yes, I saw that one. That one, I would say, that one was pretty was wild to say the least. I'm just like biologically, it doesn't make sense, but okay. Have you
Okay.
seen it?
No, I tried to give myself like I just try to give myself time to watch like horror movies like every day, like how I usually do for the past 3 years. Oh yeah,
Right.
I would just give myself the whole month, that one time for just to myself where I watch horror movie, like some sort of horror
Oh,
movie.
I see what you're saying. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead, like doesn't not really horror specific, more like Halloween theme. So I'll watch like a zombie movie this one week, and then the next week slasher, some then
I got you.
paranormal
I
stuff.
got you.
Yeah. So I like doing that. I've been doing it like I said for 3 years, but that's because I had time back then. Now I come home, I'm just like I just wanna chill, relax.
Man, I feel you on that. It's like, as soon as I get home,
I just
I'd rather just lay down.
yeah,
Like,
just relax my feet.
yeah.
I'm just ready to just be gone for the day. But yeah, I tried. Um, I haven't done it, so now I'm just gonna try to scatter around whenever I can. But have I remember over the summer, I believe. Was it summer? No, last year actually. I didn't do a full month, but I went around and watched like more Halloween themed movie, and one of them was The Thing. The both movies.
Oh, the see that one I didn't see. The remake of the thing, I didn't see that one. Shame
It's
on me. I
okay.
should have.
No, it's okay.
Oh, it wasn't worth it. Oh
It's
man.
not. It's not. Just in my opinion, I see where they want to go, but the fact that I like the, I'm a sucker for the mystery.
Right.
Like I like the fact that it's unexplainable. I like,
Mm.
so
Gotcha.
in the first movie they're all like, what is this? What is that? How is this doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
they tried to do that with the remake, and I'm just like, not really
I
a
see.
big
So
fan.
they had a good plan, but the execution sucks.
Yeah, for the remake anyway. Yeah,
Right, 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 right.
it pretty much little spoiler. It's
I'm
pretty
not
much
gonna see it anytime soon.
pretty much.
If I'm
I
just being
feel that.
honest.
I feel that. That's me whenever recommends me things. But for me, when I watched the remake, the whole movie was pretty much the same as the first movie. But the twist at the end is just like, okay, why did you guys have to throw in that ending like that? I'm still not trying to
Oh,
give
I
spoilers,
hate
just in case.
that.
Yeah, pretty much
I
like
hate that.
it's like it didn't need to be that that kind of a twist. It could be just like, something from back then, or I don't know, something better
They could
than
have
what they
went.
did.
They could have went another avenue, but instead they went
Exactly. With
that avenue, and it was not the best thing.
yeah, and I looked
Got it.
and I went to look up what people thought about the movie, and some of them shared the same opinion as me, like
Mhm.
similar movies, but the ending was just like could be better, but
Right.
it's what we
It
got.
sucks. It really does. Like they set a movie up so beautifully, and then they give you a shit ending.
But
Shit ending.
it's a prequel. The remake is a prequel,
Oh.
and
Okay.
I mean, the final scene for the prequel was the open, like, scene right before the start of
The
the
original.
movie.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty cool,
Got it. That's
uh,
cool.
but like I said, I just didn't like the twist, or the origin that they decided to give the thing. Um,
Gotcha.
what other kind of um
Got it.
anyway, where was I? Well, oh yeah, paranormal stuff. I know you said you like the paranormal activity stuff. Have you seen any other supernatural movies like Hereditary? Oh yeah, have you seen any of the A24 movies where it's not like they focus on the atmosphere, the creepiness of the atmosphere, the characters they play? Are you that kind of a horror guy, or are you more like the exact, like something you can see, that instead
You
of
know
like
what?
what you
I'm
feel?
all down for um like the suspense. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Um that movie Hereditary, boy, that movie there took me for a whole ride. Like that one was beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful. I'm just like, oh wow, oh like that's one of the few movies I was like, okay, it was new, it was fresh, it was everything you can ask for in a horror movie. That's not really like mainstream
Yeah.
ish, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
And so
clear.
I'm just like, whew, that's beautiful.
What ab-
As far as like,
what was that?
so you going back to your question, it's you're saying as far as um like what was that question again? Is like as far as the environment's concerned.
Oh yeah,
Can you
like
play that back for me?
if you you know how like with the movies like Hereditary, Midsommar. I think it's more towards Midsommar, where instead of like they're going for that big shock value, or I won't say big shock value, more like
Like the subtle things.
yeah, they build up the suspense, and then instead of like here's a jump scare, here's a jump scare, here's like a sharp noise.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those movies are pretty good as well. A movie that I would recommend, and I hope that it's still on Netflix. This is a movie called Hush.
Is that the
Have
one where
you?
what was it? I tried to watch that like few years ago. It's about this deaf lady, right?
Right, right. And so the whole time is just quiet, but you see little subtle things like here and there. And the killer comes in and he starts fucking with her. Like he realized that the chick is deaf. And so he starts doing subtle things here and there. And so that movie there was gorgeous. I
Okay.
loved it. Loved it a lot. So
Okay.
yeah, as far as like horror movies doesn't have to be in your face. For me, what makes a horror movie, it keeps you on the edge of your seats.
Okay.
And if a horror movie can do that, it done its job.
Okay.
Point blank. Period.
Okay. Do you? I'm 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 sure this would line up towards the Halloween aspect, but would you ever consider zombie movies to be like similar or related to horror movies, or to an
I
extent
would
at
say
least?
yes. I would say yes. It's part of the ghouls and paranormal and all it. It's all in that umbrella right there. There are some good zombie movies.
Which one would you say?
At the end of the day, sometimes I think the most zombie movies that are coming out fail because they it's pretty much the same thing. A virus breaks out, okay, they spread it to people. If few people survive, they try to make it out, blah blah blah. Everyone has a happy day.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same tune with zombie movies. There's not really a way you can differentiate yourself from it or make yourself stand out and be different from it. Um, but yeah, I would say they very much belong in the horror genre for sure.
Okay. Okay. Another movie that I'm curious about, because it like we discussed earlier with Midsommar and Hereditary. Uh, what was it? It comes at night. Have you heard of that movie? It's a movie where they're just imagine 2020 but in the dark, and everything's boarded up.
Oh my god, I think I seen that one. I just can't remember.
It,
Oh man,
in my opinion, it didn't really have a whole lot of like the what it didn't have a cult, it didn't have witches, it didn't have anything. It's just a disease that
mm-hmm,
broke out. No zombies. Like I thought there will be some sort of zombies or
mm-hmm.
at least enemies, but no, it's
It
just
comes at night. That's gonna kill me. I have to look that up after this.
yeah. So pretty much the movie is just there's a disease going around, and in
Mm-hmm.
order to prevent catching it, everyone just like shuts in completely. They only go out in mask. Like I said, it's 2020, but in a more out in the boonies area.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look that one up. It's killing me. I could have sworn. I could have sworn I've seen it. I just can't remember parts of the movie.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it
Um,
had a lot of talking. That's for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
I would say what's kind of like that would be the Crazies. Now that one there was pretty good.
The original or the remake? Oh wait, the Crazies. Is that the zombie movie?
Yeah, it was a zombie. Now that one was a zombie movie, but that one was kind of different. It just kind of like, oh, they don't know what's kind of happening, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then they're trying to they're trying to separate each other, and then figure out separating them. There's people infected with the people that think they're good, blah blah blah, and then it just all hell breaks loose. But that one was interesting,
Okay.
the way it got started. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's just the same tune.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember there was a year where I just decided I'm gonna watch as much as I can with zombie movies. So I
Hmm.
watched like George A. Romero. I watched Train to
Oh,
Busan.
oh yeah.
Uh, there were other zombie movies. Some of the remakes like Dawn of the Dead,
Hmm.
the one at the mall. That was really good. I like the atmosphere on that one, especially a demon baby, or demon pregnant woman or something.
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, that one was like what?
Um, where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. But anyway, man, I am blanking out with horror movies. I thought I had a lot in my head. Apparently not. S-
Sorry, write these things down, man.
Exactly. In this show, everything's impromptu. Everything's on the
I gotcha.
yeah.
Nah,
Everything's
it's all
improv.
good. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah. So okay, here we go. What are some movies that you might think is it could be passed as a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie?
Oh,
So I feel like the movies like the first Terminator could be passed as a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie. Alien,
I mean, I see why people want to pass it as a horror movie, but it just doesn't.
fall
It's
in line.
sci-fi. I mean, it's a robot. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Well,
Um,
what about yours? What would you say is your what are your movies that you think could be passed as a horror genre based movie, or that it's not considered as a horror movie?
I would say the movie I just discussed, Hush.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just a suspenseful thriller at the end of the day,
Hmm.
but it was great.
Okay.
Great. It gives you that horror movie feel to it, but it's actually not. I think it's just a suspense. What you call it? Suspenseful thriller.
Okay. Uh,
Movie.
what did you think about Oh, Happy Death? What was it? Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day. That one. I got mixed feelings about that one. I like
I've
where
seen
they were
good reviews.
going.
Yeah, I've seen
I
good
like
reviews
where they were
about it.
going with that one.
It
Hmm.
just looks like Groundhog Day meets a slasher. Yeah.
Yeah. I like where I was going with it. I think you know what? I take that back. I did. I think whenever I saw it, I did like it.
Did you think it needed the second movie? I've never seen any of them, so I'm not really sure if my question applies to it. In my head, I'm just
Was there
thinking
a
that.
need for a sequel?
Yeah.
No, I think the first one did it justice. Because here's the thing about sequels: is like you like 90% of the sequels is not as good as the original.
Yeah.
Is I think the sequel is just the way it's like, oh well, the first one did good. Let's do another one, and let's put a little twist in there, see how it does. Like sometimes it works. It works beautifully.
Okay.
But sometimes it's just like you have to say enough.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what people get confused about. I'm just like one movie is enough. Like for instance, what was a one and done? Like Hereditary did his thing, got it.
Mhm.
Or Get Out did his thing, got it. Got the whole picture. There wasn't a need for a sequel. Us got it.
What was that movie? Babadook. What you think about that movie?
Babadook, got it. There was no need for a sequel. Babadook, it definitely like it was a different aspect of showing. It was a different aspect of showing a paranormal genre through a different culture.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I think it did great as a movie. I
oh
sure
yeah,
enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed it. The kid was
The
irritating for yelling, but that's it did its job.
Yeah, the kid irked my nerves too. They could have dialed the kid down just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but
But it served.
as far as the movie itself, it did great.
Yeah, yeah. I give them that one as well. I truly enjoyed Babadook. Another movie I enjoyed was the Evil Dead, but not the original, unfortunately. The remake one.
The remake,
I've
you
only seen the remake.
know,
What you think
I
about that one?
have I have conflicts with that one. Like that one was it's almost it was almost like Halloween Kills. It was just gore. It almost took
It's a
away
gore
the
fest.
horror movie aspect of it. I'm just like, okay, I get
It's a
it.
comical gore
It's just
fest.
nothing but blood and fucking body parts all over the place. I'm
That's
just
true.
like, well, okay, all right. I could have gone to my science book if I wanted to see body parts. Like, I don't know, but I wasn't really too impressed with it, in my opinion.
What about Saw?
Saw, great movie. It got you thinking. That was the first one that's like, okay, especially the first one. Whenever he came out, when that body was over there, I was like, oh shit, okay, all right.
I like the first came
Saw,
over and closed the door and him yelling. That was, oh my god,
yeah, yeah, that will forever be like,
one of the most iconic scenes.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, and again, they got onto that. I call it like a sequel train. You got to know when to get off.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
okay to do
agree.
1 and 2 and 3. Hell, even Saw 5 was good, but Saw 6, Saw 7.
I was
Come
like,
on, come on.
I
But albeit Spiral was really good.
oh yeah, that's right. Spiral is part of the universe, but I've never
It's
really
part of
seen
the
it.
universe, but it wasn't part of that storyline.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't part of the storyline per se, but it was in the same city that it happened. I guess.
Man, I don't remember. Oh yeah, Saw 3D, and which was the one with the lasers? Like the was that was
Oh
that the was
man,
that Jigsaw or was that 3D? Because I
I
remember
think that was 3D.
seeing that and I was just like, lasers? No, thank you.
I think that was 3D.
Yeah,
I think so. Sounds
uh,
about right anyway.
but yeah, like I said, I thought the first one was really good. Second one was fine. I was okay with the second one. Third, fourth, after the third one, I actually no, after the fourth one, I just feel like okay, there's a stopping
Yeah,
point
it's
somewhere.
like we get it. Okay, we get it. We get it.
Hmm.
Also, as I was thinking, another thing that makes a good horror movie, if you don't come back home and check things, then that wasn't a good horror movie.
Okay. What
Like,
what would be?
and I say that in regards to, like, when Scream first came out, I think in 1995, 1996.
Yeah.
Um, After that movie came out, the production of caller IDs or phones with caller IDs went through the roof. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you don't go home and check certain things, like make sure everything's locked, make sure there's no shit out of place. It wasn't a good horror movie. Like,
Yeah,
hey.
that's true. That's true. Honestly, there was when I was watching The Conjuring, like you with Paranormal Activity, I saw a couple of people walked out, and I was like,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
oh
Hmm.
shit. And in my opinion, the best scene and like the scene that made me jump in that movie was when they were panning over to the wardrobe, and you just see the lady on force on top of it, and she jumped. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that
Those
was a
jump scares
moment.
will get you.
Hmm. That
Jump
was
scares
scary.
to get me too. I'm just like,
Do you
I
think
know it's a
it's
horror movie and I know it's coming, but it's just like, damn, fuck, god damn it.
do, do you enjoy jump scares, or are you one of those people who think jump scares are like the easy way out to give people a scare?
Not necessarily. It really just depends.
Hmm.
I would say it depends on the what movie it is. Some movies you need a jump scare,
Yeah.
and some movies don't need jump scares. Like I would say, um, I keep going back to that movie Hush. Hush, I don't think. Got me checking my shit. I don't think there was a jump scare in Hush. I need to rewatch it. I'm maybe mistaken, but I don't think there was one in that. And honestly, it didn't have a need for it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, what's another one? Like, um, shit. They'll come back to me. There are some other ones that didn't have jump scares or not as many of them, like maybe one, maybe two. And
Yeah.
that was all it. That's all it needed for the movie, and it was perfect. You
Okay.
know.
All right. All right. Well, we got. I got the time I want. I'm not sure if you're still willing to continue, or if you you know, what you think. Continue on for a little bit longer, or do we still have time? Or
Well, I think that that'll be enough for
yes,
today.
sir.
What
Yes,
I
sir.
would suggest is we can do another one maybe like next week, or we can like, or maybe we could do like we could do either one next week or after a movie come out, and we can talk about it. You know, I'm always available
All
or
right. I like
whatever.
that. I like that idea. I like that idea. All right. So
Hmm.
pretty much, like I said earlier in the beginning of the episode, there is an Astros game, and we are losing bad. So we need.
Yeah, we're getting our ass kicked.
Yeah.
To
I
say
mean,
the
it's first
least.
game, thankfully enough, but we'll see how it goes. Trey,
Yeah.
thank you very much for giving me your time
Always,
to do this
always.
episode. Um, any
Pleasure.
closing remarks before we head out? Any
Uh,
opinions you want to get out, or suggestions for me to check
got
out?
nothing. Just for those people who are curious about horror movies or for some reason didn't watch a horror movie in your day of your life or you want to get into it, it's never too late.
Oh
Get
yeah.
into it. You
Hmm.
know, everyone's entitled to a good scare, as they say.
If you have to start slow like
But
I did, I started with zombie movies.
hey, well, yeah,
Slowly
yeah.
made my way
Everyone,
back up.
everyone goes at a different pace. You know, you don't need. There's no need to rush, and you know, all of a sudden you're like paranoid to even go outside your house. Like, doesn't.
Yeah.
Go at the acceptable pace that's okay for you.
Hmm. Anyway, um, yeah, it's getting late for both of us. So, like one more time, I'd like to thank my good old buddy Trey here for joining me tonight. Any social medias you want to plug in or nah?
No,
All right,
no.
all right. So anyway,
I'm pretty quiet on social media anyway.
there we go. So yeah, this is gonna go up on Halloween, surprisingly enough, which is I'm fine with because if we have done this episode last week, it would have gone to Halloween. But yes, thank you once again, and I'll see you all tomorrow or some other time. Alrighty,
Sounds good, man.
three.
All right.